Hello, welcome on House News. The Budget Committee welcomed a delegation from the Chinese Parliament to discuss various aspects of the state budget formulation process in both countries. During the meeting, the two sides exchanged information on their national budgeting mechanism and cycles.
The Budget Committee of the House had a meeting with the Budgetary Affairs Commissions of the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China to discuss and exchange information on state budget planning mechanism, deficit management, and government priority programs, including subsidies and nutritious meal initiative for students. During the meeting, both parliaments exchanged information regarding the budget drafting process in their countries, starting from discussions on macroeconomic policy, fiscal policy principles, to the stages of formulating the state budget bill into the state budget. Deputy Chairpersons of the Budget Committee Wi Hadi Wianto said, Indonesia and China share many similarities in the budgeting cycle and government priority programs. Wi Hadi stated these program similarities reflect a shared visions between Indonesia and China, particularly in improving public welfare through fiscal policy. Therefore, the Budget Committee has opened the possibility of long-term collaborations between the parliaments of both countries, especially in strengthening budget governance.
Dan ternyata memang dari hasil diskusi tadi, proses daripada anggaran yang dimulai daripada siklus anggaran, ternyata memang menyerupai, hampir sama prosesnya, dimulai dengan pembahasan KMPPKF dan kemudian juga bagaimana penyampaian daripada pidato kenegaraan, terus kemudian juga penentuan daripada panggu indikatif, karena kita memang punya kesamaan dan kita sudah sama seperti Tiongkok juga, dan kita juga tadi ditanyakan mengenai masalah bagaimana kita memberikan defisit atau hutang, dan kita sampaikan juga bahwa sesuai dengan undang-undang kita adalah tidak melampaui 3% daripada PDB, dan kita setuju bahwa kita nanti akan selalu berkolaborasi dan kita juga saling bertukar informasi bagaimana kita menyusun anggaran ke depannya.
This meeting is also an initial step towards strengthening cooperations between the Indonesian and Chinese parliaments in fiscal management and effective budget formulations in order to support public welfare programs. Dodi, TVR Parliament reports.
Speaker of the House urged the government to provide immediate and accurate information regarding the recent Hanta virus concern. She also highlighted the role of healthcare infrastructure in anticipating and preventing the spread of the virus.
Concerns over the spread of Hanta virus in several countries have also emerged in Indonesia. Speaker of the House Dr. Honoris Causa Puan Maharani asked the government to enhance monitoring and mitigation efforts, particularly at main entry points, including airports, seaports, and border checkpoints. These efforts are necessary to reduce the risk of the virus spreading into Indonesia. Puan Maharani warned the government not to underestimate the potential spread of Hanta virus and avoid repeating the lack of anticipations seen during the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected Indonesia and the rest of the world. She urged ministries and related government institutions to enhance coordinations and tighten supervisions at all points of entry in Indonesia. Early prevention is necessary to minimize the risk of Hanta virus entering Indonesia. Moreover, Puan mentions the House, through its committees and commissions, plans to summon relevant stakeholders to explain the government's measures in anticipating the entry of Hanta virus into Indonesia.
Terkait dengan virus hantavirus, semua stakeholder sebaiknya untuk mengantisipasi dan melakukan mitigasi, jangan sampai kemudian nanti menganggap hal ini hal yang tidak perlu diantisipasi dan dimitigasi, kemudian menjadi luas dan melebar dan terjadi hal yang tidak diinginkan, karena hari ini baru pembukaan sidang di DPR. Nanti tentu saja komisi yang terkait meminta penjelasan dari stakeholder yang terkait untuk melakukan pencegahan atau antisipasi terkait dengan hal tersebut.
Fajar Ilhami and Rizky, TVA Parlemen reports.
Lawmakers are targeting the manpower bill deliberation to be completed before October 2026 in accordance with the Constitutional Court's ruling. The manpower bill is designed to address long-standing issues in the labor sector, from uncertainty over worker status to unequal protection.
The leadership of the House directly received workers' aspirations through a public hearing forum following the May Day demonstrations, where workers demand fair wages, stronger social security, and the elimination of outsourcing practices and unfair layoffs. These demands also align with the government and the House's commitment to drafting a new labor law following the Constitutional Court's ruling, with completion targeted in 2026. Vice Speaker of the House Suhmi Dasko Ahmad affirmed the drafting of the new labor law will involve Indonesian labor unions. Workers' participation from the early stages of deliberations is expected to formulate regulations that can accommodate all parties and minimize the potential for judicial review challenges at the Constitutional Court. The previous labor regulations, which were amended through the Job Creation Law, are considered to have reduced several workers' rights, such as reducing severance pay, making layoffs easier, and policies seen as prioritizing corporate interest.
Karena amanat dari putusan MK adalah kita harus membuat undang-undang ketenagakerjaan yang baru. Gitu. Nah ini kita serahkan yang masak teman-teman buruh. Nah jadi kita tunggu, tapi pada prinsipnya pemerintah juga sudah minta bahwa sampai dengan akhir tahun ini itu undang-undang tenaga kerja harus selesai. Nah itu tadi supaya kemudian undang-undang itu tidak mubazir, tidak digugat lagi ke MK. Ya monggo ini teman-teman buruh yang masak, nanti kita bahas sama-sama dengan pemerintah dan DPR di sini. Timnya itu full, akan banyak memang teman-teman dari teman-teman pekerja yang kemudian aktif di situ. Nah yang kemudian tadi yang kedua ketiga masalah upah buruh sistem outsourcing, juga pemerintah telah bersama-sama dengan kawan-kawan Serikat Pekerja telah meluncing Satgas mitigasi PHK dan kesejahteraan buruh mengenai masalah upah, mengenai masalah sistem outsourcing, kemudian masalah mengenai kalau ada yang mau PHK dan lain-lain itu bisa dibawa ke situ.
Several key issues are proposed for inclusions in the new labor law, including minimum wage policies, regulations on layoffs and severance pay, as well as review of employment contract durations. Commission 9 of the House highlighted wage disparities among regions in Indonesia. For instance, in West Java, several districts apply different minimum wage standards. Bekasi and Karawang have minimum wages exceeding 5.8 million rupiah, while Garut, Banjar, and Majalengka set minimum wage at only around 2.4 million rupiah. Member of Commission 9 of the House Neti Prasetyani stated, more balanced regulations are necessary to reduce these regional disparities.
Tentu saja kalau kita bicara tentang bagaimana menyeimbangkan, berarti dua kepentingan ini harus bisa terakomodasi. Kepentingan pengusaha atau pemberi kerja dengan kepentingan dan kebutuhan para pekerja. Ya. Keduanya harus bisa bertumbuh, keduanya harus bisa mendapatkan pelindungan yang sama. Ke depan memang harus ada sebuah skala pengupahan yang memang menghitung betul bagaimana kebutuhan hidup layak. Kenapa? Karena antara pekerja lajang dengan pekerja menikah, pekerja beranak satu, pekerja yang memiliki 2 anak, 3 anak, dan seterusnya, pasti kebutuhannya berbeda. Nah, skala pengupahan ini mudah-mudahan ke depan mulai bisa memotret seperti apa kebutuhan pekerja yang kemudian bisa dijawab oleh bantalan sosial lewat upah minimum.
The government and the House have agreed to complete the new labor law this year. Lawmakers have also opened broad opportunities for all parties to provide input throughout the drafting process. The discussions of the labor bill is expected to become an important opportunity to address long-standing inequalities in the labor sectors, including from employment status certainty for contract workers to stronger protections for informal workers and digital platform workers, such as online drivers and freelancers. Through the new labor law, the business sectors is expected to move beyond viewing workers as factors of productions, and instead recognize them as strategic partners who contribute to sustainable company growth. This approach is expected to foster principle of fairness and balance for employers and workers. TVR Parliament Report.
When we return, more updates on travel and movies, so stay tuned on House News. Indonesia's state-owned airport operator Injourney Airports is adding 50 flight routes to strengthen national air connectivity and support growth in the transportation and tourism sectors.
Injourney Airports expand national and international connectivity through the additions of 53 new flight routes throughout early 2026. From January to April 2026, the number of newly operated routes increased by 15% compared to the same period last year. The expansion aims to strengthen transportations, tourism, and economic growth in Indonesia. Among the newly introduced domestic route is the Manado-Tahuna service operated by Wings Air, connecting Samratulangi Airport in Manado with Naha-Tahuna Airport in North Sulawesi. The route improved access to island regions known for marine tourism and stunning ocean landscapes. Meanwhile, Garuda Indonesia has launched flights from Bali's I Gusti Ngurah Rai Airport to Moses Kilangin Airport in Timika, Papua. These new domestic connections are expected to support regional development, improve logistic flow, and encourage more balanced tourism distributions across the archipelago. International connectivity is also expanding significantly as more foreign airlines open direct routes to Indonesia. South Korean carrier T-Way Air officially launched direct flights between Jakarta and Incheon, providing Indonesians with additional travel options to South Korea, as well as making Indonesia more accessible to international tourists. Other upcoming routes include Scoot services connecting Belitung and Pontianak to Singapore's Changi Airport. Spring Airline is scheduled to begin flights from Guangzhou and Shenzhen to Jakarta in June 2026. Another planned international services include Centrum Air's Tashkent-Bali route and Greater Bay Airlines flights from Hong Kong to Surabaya. Despite ongoing global challenges, including rising aviation fuel prices, influenced by Middle East tensions, Injourney continues strengthening collaborations with airlines, regulators, and airport operators to increase route availability and market competitiveness. For travelers, these developments offer more flexible and direct travel options, giving opportunities to explore destinations in Indonesia and abroad.
The first look teaser for Timun Mas in Wonderland has just been released. The film transforms the classic Indonesian folktale into a modern fantasy experience through advanced CGI while still embracing local cultural heritage and traditional identity.
Indonesia's creative industry released the first look teaser of Timun Mas in Wonderland, a modern adaptation of the legendary Indonesian folktale Timun Mas. The project impressed audiences with cinematic visuals, detailed animations, and smooth character movements that many viewers compare to international animation standards. Inspired by the legendary story of Timun Mas, the film brings local folklore into a more contemporary world without losing its cultural roots. Traditional woven elements are woven into the costume designs, while lush tropical forests and rich natural landscapes create a setting inspired by Indonesia's diverse heritage. The animation was created by local talent without the use of AI technology. The excitement surrounding Timun Mas in Wonderland continues to grow even though the film's official release date has not yet been announced. The project features 17 original theme songs carrying messages of courage, friendship, togetherness, and love for the homeland. In addition to being adapted into a film, the Indonesian Ministry of Creative Economy hopes that Timun Mas folktale can be developed into Indonesian intellectual property. It is hoped the film and its theme song will receive a positive response from the Indonesian public and the global community. Integrating film, music, and performing arts into a single production's ecosystem not only supports efforts to preserve cultural heritage, but also encourages the growth of the creative industry.
And that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.